I am here in Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon has shown me great love. And I'm back here at the Fleetwood Barbershop with the original owner, Brother Dice, and people, you really don't understand the depth of what we're going to do with this Men with a Vision event, tour, movie,
can't wait,
record label. We are going to educate the mass. We're going to feed the hungry. We are going to clothe the naked. And we're going to house the homeless. That's our aim. That's our purpose. It's not about the entertainment, really. It's about the reversal of the tables being turned. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. And so we're at this process right now that we want to be the new news, but the good news for this generation. So the seriousness is to actually let you see what's going on. So I'm here with my brother Dice. We're at the Fleetwood Barbershop in Mount Vernon. And if y'all don't know and you live in Mount Vernon, you need to come here and check this shop out. And I'm going to give you a personal view of what the shop looks like. And I'm just going to let Dice tell the story of what Men with a Vision means to him, how his journey has become a reality, but it also has made an impact on the community and the incarceration system. This is deep. So I want y'all to just focus in and understand what we're going to bring to you at the Long Island University on October the 6th, 2024. Shoot, brother.
How you doing? My name is Brother Dice, AKA No Negative Behavior. I met Brother T through a mutual friend, and they told me what his aim was and what he was focusing on. You know, men with a vision. And I think that's very, very, very important, because everything starts with the vision. Everything starts with a dream. And from there is all action. You know, once you have focus on what you want, the rest is all execution. You keep focused and keep your eye on the prize. That's what I had to do. Brother T, you mentioned, first and foremost, I am formerly incarcerated. I spent most of my adult life, pretty much all of my adult life, in prison. I started at a very young age, and I just kept circling the drain like the toilet water. Right? I didn't really have a focus, I didn't have a vision, and my life was basically all shortcuts. You know, sometimes the shortcuts really take you the long way. You know, it's not really a shortcut. You end up going far and beyond where you were supposed to go, only just to come back and start there again. And I had to learn that the hard way. During my incarceration, I would like to say, for some people, incarceration is the most horrible thing that they ever experienced. But for me, I would say that it was an awakening. It was an awakening for me. And I mean, it took me a minute to wake up, but when that light switched on, everything changed. My vision became clear, and I knew what I was supposed to do. You know, I like to say, you know, first and foremost, I would like to say, you know, to my parents, apologize to my parents for all the things I put them through, because they was constantly trying to keep me on the right path. But to say I didn't have a vision, I had the wrong vision. You know, I was thinking that I knew the answers, and I had guidance, and they was telling me, you're going the wrong way. So let me start by saying this. During my incarceration, the third time, because I was in an installment plan, I spent 24 years in total of my life in prison. So that was from 18, I went the first time, and now I'm in my 50s. And I've been home 5 years now, doing good, no negative behavior. But during that incarceration, I kept getting in trouble. I kept getting in trouble over and over again. And one of my parents my mother suggested that I start writing things down in the journal. And I always had the ability to write. I was a good writer. I was a very good writer. So I took her advice because, you know, I was tired of her having to travel 8 hours to come see me, 9 hours, 10 hours. And, you know, Mom was making that trip. And I kind of took that for granted. I just wasn't listening. As I always, I did that. Like I said, I did that a lot in my life. I didn't listen. I wasn't paying attention. So when she asked me to keep a journal, I said, okay, I'll keep a journal. I'll write in it. She bought me the journal. I said, I'll write in it. And this was 2007. And to say I wrote in it every day would be a lot. But in a month's time, 30 days, I may have made 4 or 5 entries in the journal. And this was from 2007, and I continued to write in that journal until 2014. And it wasn't until 2014 when I got in trouble again in prison. And I was in what they call the hole, the box, solitary confinement, special housing unit. They have a lot of names for it. But I was there, and I didn't have any property in that cell. And the sergeant came to my cell with my journal. So this means that he went through all my property looking for contraband. And what he came to my cell with was my journal. And I was shocked because when I seen it in his hand, you know, I kind of felt naked because I would write whatever was on my mind into the journal. And he brought the journal to me, and he said, had in his hand, he said, this book right here is very interesting. And I even felt more naked because now I know he read it. And what he did after that, he tossed it to me in that cell. So at first I thought maybe I should write about this experience. And then I said, you know what? Instead of writing in it, I'm gonna read it. I want to see what he read and want to, you know, hear my own thoughts. And when I did that, I have to say that was the most transformative experience of my life. Because reading that journal, not only did it awaken me, but it showed me my vision. It showed me that I thought I was going to California, but I was really heading towards Canada. So that book had all of my thoughts and experiences. I couldn't believe that I wrote it. I said, I didn't write this. Some of the things that I was reading about myself, I said, I did not write this. I didn't even know that I was like this. This showed me a whole different person, this book. And it was like a map. I always say this. That book was like a map. The dot on the map that says you are here, that's what my journal was like when I read it. It said, man, you are in Canada. You thought you was heading to California, but you're going the wrong direction. And after reading it, when I say awakening, that's not even, maybe not even the right word for what it did to me. It so many feelings came out of me, and it was to say it was a good thing to be in solitary confinement is like a joke, but at that point it was a good thing that I was in solitary confinement, because I was crying like a baby when I was reading some of the things that I wrote. You know, I didn't see myself that way, but the book, my own writings told me who I was. So, you know, that's part of the story. But, you know, the journal is a major part of the pivot and the transformation of my life. And from that point, I said, you know what? Since I read everything and I learned so much about myself, I said, you know what? I'm gonna follow the instructions of this journal. The things that were in the journal, that it showed all my patterns, all my cycles. I do this, do that, get in trouble. Do this, do that. I kept repeating. It was like Groundhog Day in prison. And you know, you're supposed to be getting better, and I was getting worse. So I said it's time for me to change myself. So I used that book for direction. I stopped hanging with these people, replaced it with something positive. These programs that I was in, I went back to those programs so that I can learn something, because at that point I was just in the programs because they were mandatory, but now I'm in there to learn. And it really helped me. It moved my life. It moved the people around me. It brought the people that I should be with, or I should be associating myself with. It drew them closer to me, and overall it made me a better person. And I can honestly say that it got me out of prison, because as you know, recidivists, you know, the parole office or the parole board, they hear all type of stories. You know, you tell them, you know, you change, and they say, how did you change? They want to know how, and then that's where people get stuck. You know, especially if it's a lie. And this experience gave me the opportunity to tell them how I changed. I changed because I wrote in this journal, and you know, this journal transformed me, and I told them about the journal, and they was actually shocked. You know.
Tell them the title of your journal.
There was no title.
There's no title.
It was just a black book that looked like a Bible that had empty pages in it, and I wish I had brought the book with me, but I just wrote the date, the time, and then I went right into the thought. Date, time, right into the thought. Date, time, right into the thought. You know, for 7 years, approximately 7 years, off and on. A lot of New Year's and Christmases and birthdays, and a lot of problems. Not many solutions in the book, but it was a lot of my patterns in the book. You know, so
I'm gonna read that journal.
you gonna read the journal?
I'm gonna read that journal, because that sounds like it's got a lot of power to it.
Well, I don't know if you can read the journal, but I tell you what, we do have some animations. Shout out to my boy Cameron. We do have some animations that were made from the journal that I like to give to you, so you can see and check them out. You know, and shout out to all the animators. They did it pro bono because they loved the story. So shout out to them too.
All right, let's move along, because we don't want to give them too much.
All right.
Till they get to the platform. Let's talk about the barbershop. Let's talk about your book.
Okay, let's get into the book. So this book came pretty much during my transformation, and the name of the book is called You Can't Be Serious. Okay, and this book is pretty much about my life. It's a fictional book, but it has a lot of truth in it. And this book is about 3 guys, 3 young black men that was in the pursuit of money and its purchasing power. You know, like a lot of the brothers that's out here You know, it's full of shortcuts, it's full of consequences, and it's full of real life experiences that, you know, a lot of us go through, because a lot of times you don't see the traps that's out there, especially if you got your eyes on money and the purchasing power. You'll miss the trap. And this book pretty much is like this is like gives you some direction to show you, you know, the things that you're doing, you know, that you need to think about it. You need to rethink some of these thoughts, rethink some of these activities, rethink some of these people, places, and things that you like to attend. And you know, it's also very funny. This is very funny. I made it a comedy so that, you know, you could get a laugh out of it, but at the same time, you know, you get the lesson. You get the lesson too. A lesson and a laugh.
And they can purchase this book
on Amazon Books. You can purchase this book on Amazon Books. It's called You Can't Be Serious. You Can't Let It Be Serious. It's $19. It's on Amazon Books. And you know, you can read it yourself, or you can send it to someone that needs a laugh, or send it to someone that needs a lesson. Everything is in there. Trust me, everything is in there. And I let some of the most notorious people that's, as they call in our underworld, in those prisons, read this book, and they loved it. They loved it.
We will have the information down for you to get this book. Please get the book.
Yeah, please order the book.
The book will be available also at the Men with a Vision event. Sorry, y'all.
It's all good.
This book will be outside as a vendor at the Men with a Vision event right at the Long Island University, the Titles Center. We're going to have this book, but don't wait until then. Get the book now.
Order yours now.
Be a support to our black businesses. And next, we're going to just show you the barbershop. And then we're going to end with the class that he teach. Brother Dice, he's a package all wrapped up in one. Brother T from the Thoughts of Black Men, and we're working on this Men with a Vision, and he gave you the first half, but we're gonna cut some of that stuff out, and we're gonna hit it now on the second, on about the barbershop and his program called Stop.
Right, Stop, STOPP, Stop Taking Other People's Property. So this program is basically for those of you that like to take people's things without permission. You know, we call them thieves. You might call yourself a robber or, you know, whatever name you got for it, but we're going to keep it basic. If you're a thief, this program is for you. And the reason why I created this program is because I was a thief and I was going back and forth into prison, you know, in the installment plans. And there was never nothing in prison that would talk to my issue. You know, you had people with the violence programs for people that have violent crimes, drug programs for people that's on drugs, rape and programs for people that sexually assault women, but they never had anything for people that steal. They just pushed us in with the violence programs, and it really didn't work for us. So I started to think, how can I address this issue? First, I had to understand what my issue was. I was a thief. And then I had to figure out why I was a thief. So I did my research. I used The Psychology of Man, a book that I found in prison. And I went through all of these chapters, and as I saw myself in these chapters, I started writing little notes down and creating a program. So this program is directed towards people who steal, you know, and don't know why it's wrong to steal. Why is it wrong to steal is the question. And that's the question we're going to get to and stop. It's a 12-week program, and I think that anybody that's been arrested or anybody that has or knows someone that has sticky fingers, then they should take interest into this program, because this program is for them. And this will awaken them up, and it will give them a good definition of why it's wrong to steal. And then from there, the choice would be theirs if they choose to steal again.
All right, so I think y'all got a little bit of that.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But when we get on the platform, we're going to really show you what the program is about and how detrimental it is to society right now. And I told you we are going to be the good news out of all this bad stuff that's going on around us with our finances, the way we treat one another. We're going to fix this for real. And the tables are turning. Now, the last thing he's going to tell you about is how did he get this barbershop? Yo, and it sits right in the heart of Mount Vernon, right on the corner. You can see everything.
That's right.
And so we want to just find out just a little bit on what made him get this barbershop.
Right. Well, Fleetwood Barbershop was actually fell into my lap. You know, they say sometimes that when you're where you're supposed to be, you know, things happen for you. And it just so happens at the time I was where I was supposed to be. I ran into a friend that told me about this shop, this place, and they told me that it was available. And she said that, Roberta, shout out to Roberta, she said, you know, this is you, Dice. This is you. I said, but I don't cut hair. She said, so what? She said, this is you. And we need $20,000 for it. Yeah. So I was like, I don't got $20,000. And she said, you'll figure it out. And I said, you know what? I will. I looked at the shop and I visualized myself in this place. I visualized myself owning this place, you know? And it happened. It happened. I had to scramble for the money. I had to dig in them corners, go in them pants pockets, and get every dime that I had at the time and put it towards this shop. And I figured with this shop that I would create opportunities for people, you know, in the neighborhood, you know, and I'll also, you know, show people that this can happen for you. You know, with all my baggage from behind, you know, this still could happen. You understand? So, you know, surround yourself with the right people. You know, you can't be the smartest one in your crew. You know, you gotta get another crew. If you the smartest one in your crew, you have to work collectively. You know, like the men with a vision. I'm glad I met these brothers because, you know, they definitely are positive and they're on the right track. They're on to something. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that You just have to refocus. You have to refocus yourself. Save your coins. Stop spending all your money on junk. And, create a path for yourself. Because life is short. Life is very short. You know what I'm saying? You wanna leave something behind. And it's easier to stay out of trouble than it is to get out of trouble. So, keep that in mind, when you out there doing the things you do. But this barbershop has been a blessing to me. I'm not making a ton of money off the shop, but it feels good, to have a place of business. It feels very good. And anybody can do it. You just put your mind to it and save your money. Stop buying Jordans and stuff like that. Save your money. Right, Brother T?
Yes, sir. And so, I'll leave y'all with this. The barbershops that we normally go to, that's when the men really drop the guard. That's our secret hiding place.
Yeah.
Because we don't drop the guard everywhere and with anybody. Either two places. Either the barbershop or the bar. Those are the two places we'll drop the guard. Unconsciously, we'll drop it in the bar because we're drinking and the liquor will expose you, whether you like it or not. But this healthy side on the barbershop is where the men really bring it down and they put their business in the streets. Look for his book.
You can't be serious.
We're gonna give you pictures on the barbershop, and those that are in Mount Vernon or in the Bronx, y'all need to come and support us here because this is my new home as well. And we are going to look forward to seeing you at the Men with a Vision at Long Island University. We will be right back.